The hardest part of bedtime is not always getting your baby sleepy. It is getting your baby to feel safe enough to let sleep happen. If you want parenting insight that helps you read what babies mean before they have words, subscribe to Baby Cues Decoded. At bedtime, babies are not only asking for sleep. Very often, they are asking for safety first. Bedtime can be stressful for babies because it often involves darkness, transition, and separation, while simple, soothing routines can help them settle. Before bed, babies do not only need less noise, they need more predictability, and usually, the babies who sleep feeling safest are not the ones with perfect parents. They are the ones who keep getting the same calm signals before sleep. 0 to 3 notes that routines comfort babies and provide a sense of safety, while Healthy Children recommends a loving, consistent approach when sleep is disrupted by separation anxiety. Bedtime gets easier when the baby's body starts recognizing what happens next. Thing 1. Slow yourself down before you start bedtime. Sometimes the first bedtime cue your baby needs is not darkness. It is your nervous system becoming easier to rest inside. This is where bedtime often begins, and many parents miss it because they are trying so hard to get everything done. The toys are still out, the kitchen is still noisy, your mind is still moving at full speed. Then, without really noticing, you carry all of that straight into the last 10 minutes before sleep. And babies feel that. They feel the rushed hands, the sharper voice, the quick transitions, the body that is technically present but still emotionally sprinting. So before you start bedtime, slow yourself down first. Lower your voice. Move more gently. Put your phone down. Let your hands calm before they touch your baby. Because babies often borrow calm before they can create calm. Harvard's Serve and Return framework explains that responsive, regulated back and forth interaction helps build and strengthen neural connections in a child's brain. And 0 to 3 explains that babies and toddlers rely on co-regulation because self-regulation is still developing. Your routine matters, but the state you bring into the routine matters first. Thing 2. Do the same simple bedtime steps in the same order. A bedtime routine is not just a list of tasks. It is one of the ways the baby's body learns what sleep is supposed to feel like. That is why your routine does not need to be fancy. It needs to be familiar. Diaper, pajamas, dim lights, short feed, one song, cuddle, crib. Or bath, pajamas, lights low, short cuddle, bed. The exact steps matter less than people think. What matters more is that they happen in roughly the same order, with roughly the same emotional tone, often enough that your baby's body starts recognizing the pattern before sleep arrives. NHS recommends a simple, soothing bedtime routine to help babies settle. 0 to 3 similarly says doing the same bedtime routine as much as possible helps babies learn when it is time to sleep, and that routines comfort babies, provide a sense of safety, and reassure them that their needs will be met. That is what makes simple routines so powerful. You are not just moving through steps, you are telling the nervous system, this is the part of the day where everything gets softer, more familiar, and easier to trust. Thing 3. Give one short moment of full attention before bed. Before sleep, 1 minute of full presence can calm more than 10 minutes of distracted care. That is because bedtime is not only a process. For many babies, it is also a relationship moment. All day long, care can become functional. Feed, change, carry, clean up, move to the next thing. And sometimes bedtime starts feeling the same way. One more task to complete before everyone finally collapses. But many babies settle more deeply when the last emotional message of the day is not, "I'm putting you down now," but "I'm gathering you in." NHS guidance notes that a simple bedtime routine can also be valuable one-to-one time with your baby, not just a way to get them to sleep. Harvard's Serve and Return framework adds the larger developmental truth. Warm, responsive, back-and-forth interaction helps shape brain architecture and supports emotional security. So give one short moment of full attention before bed, one quiet cuddle, one unrushed feed, one song with your full voice in it, 1 minute of eye contact, soft tone, and no multitasking. It does not need to be long. It needs to feel emotionally present. Thing 4. Start bedtime before your baby gets overtired. A baby who seems to resist sleep is sometimes not resisting sleep at all. They may already be too far past calm to enter it easily. This is one of the most common bedtime mistakes, and it happens for understandable reasons. Parents wait for a clearer signal. They hope the baby will stretch just a little longer. They assume a more tired baby will go down more easily. But often the opposite happens. By the time the meltdown arrives, the body is already too flooded to glide gently into sleep. 0 to 3 advises parents to watch for tired signs such as yawning, fussiness, eye rubbing, ear pulling, or a far-off stare, and to slow things down and begin bedtime when those signs appear. Healthy Children also notes that separation struggles can worsen when a child is hungry, tired, or not feeling well. So start earlier than the full unraveling. Watch for the quieter cues: yawning, rubbing eyes, zoning out, a far-off stare, slower behavior, or sudden clinginess. Do not wait for full distress to become your bedtime signal. When you catch tiredness earlier, bedtime often feels less like a battle and more like a landing. Thing 5. End bedtime with the same short, reassuring goodbye. One of the last things your baby feels before sleep should not be confusion. It should be a pattern they can trust. For many babies, that time is not only about sleep, it is also about separation. That is why the final 20 seconds matter so much. If the ending feels abrupt, unpredictable, or emotionally loaded, the body often reacts to that before it reacts to tiredness. Healthy Children advises against sneaking away because it can increase clinginess, and recommends quick goodbye rituals, consistency, and following through when you say you will return. It also describes separation anxiety around sleep as a normal stage that often needs a loving and consistent approach. So choose one short, reassuring goodbye and keep it the same most nights. Night, night, I love you. I'm right here. Sleep time now. Mommy comes back in the morning. Keep it short, keep it calm. Do not turn the last moment into a long, emotional negotiation. And if you check back in, do it warmly and predictably, not in a way that keeps changing the emotional rules. Over time, that consistency teaches something bigger than sleep. Love leaves in a way I can understand, and love returns in a way I can trust. Your baby does not need a perfect bedtime to sleep feeling safe. They need enough nights that keep teaching the same truth. Sleep is coming, and I am not alone in it. That is the larger pattern across the guidance from Harvard, Healthy Children, 0 to 3, and the NHS. Repeated, responsive, loving interactions and predictable routines help children feel secure and support healthier development over time. Responsive back and forth interaction helps shape brain architecture. Routines can comfort babies and create a sense of safety, and loving consistency is especially important when separation feelings show up around sleep. So this is not about doing bedtime flawlessly. It is about repetition, calm signals, familiar steps, warm connection, trustworthy separation. And when those things happen often enough, sleep starts feeling less like a drop into the dark and more like something your baby can safely let happen.